Hey, how's it going today? It's Frankie here. And I know it's pretty unusual for me to make a video at this time, but I was like, what the hell, why not make a video now? Because I just felt like it. And yeah, I was contemplating whether or not to talk about this topic, but I might as well talk about it anyway. I'm going to be talking about the evolution or evolution, however you want to say it, of man. Right? That's what I'm going to title it. Figures along those lines anyway. I'll see anyway what I title it. But yeah, the only reason why I felt like talking about this on this channel is because I had a debate about it with a friend of mine, and this topic is pretty much not spoken about often as it used to be, and I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. It might not be that long, but knowing how my videos are, I usually make my videos longer than they should be, so yeah, I'll do my best to try and talk about it. Yeah, so me and my friend of mine were discussing about, the evolution of man and how, comparing us humans to like apes or whatever it is, right? I was going to talk about my first channel, but I might talk about my other stuff channel because I don't think I've ever spoken about this. And yeah, he was going to show me some, research which I respect him for, right? You got to do research, you got to find something, to back your, statements up on, back your reasonings on. And he saw it. He showed me this, and there was like one or two sources he showed. I think it was two sources he showed me. Is that it's scientifically proven that we are from we are similar to apes or wherever it is. And I was thinking to myself, I'm thinking about this in like a common sense point of view. You got to use logic as usual, because from a logical standpoint, we are nowhere near like them. The amount of people that have told me, we do have like some ape DNA. Do we? Really, how? Was apes the only people? Not people. Was apes the only animals on this planet when humans first came in? Because I'm pretty sure there's more animals then too. And yeah, just because you research something as well, I just want to point this out. Just because you research something, it doesn't mean that you can't question what you've researched. I'm not good at research around, because when I research something, I'm not sure if I'm researching something accurate or not. I still got to question it. I have some beliefs. I believe in the aliens and UFOs and stuff. I still question things here and there. I still, I can't really believe everything I read and see. And yeah, I told people the internet is important because it is. You get different opinions, you're doing research and stuff like that. But you still have a right to question me. That's what's good about my beliefs. Excuse me. That's what's good about my beliefs, is that I can still be free to question them without any judgment. So I just kind of wish there's those of people out there like that can question own beliefs, but they don't. And yeah, so I think about it, and I made a really good point to him as well. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you hear any noise in the background, it's coming from outside. There's a bit of roadworks of what they're doing out there, so if you hear any drilling or noises, so that's just coming from outside. I think they've taken a break now or something like that, but yeah, they might stop again, I don't know. But yeah, so I made a really good point to him too, and he got kind of angry about this. But not angry, but I know he was just joking around, being like, acting all trigger, and he wasn't. But there are people that behave this way. But parts of what he said, the tone of voice, he did make it sound like it was a silly point. I made a good point to him. This was after him saying, oh well, the reason we're similar to apes is because they have vertebrae and arms and legs. Okay. So there's a few animals out there that have the same. Doesn't mean we're similar to them. I mean, koalas have a vertebrae, arms and legs. So do sloths. So I mean, even cats and dogs have like a vertebrae and legs. Obviously they don't have arms, but they also have organs as well, which he compared it to, he said apes also have organs too. That doesn't really back up your point and prove anything, does it? That just really shows that you just basically saw what you read there and just thought, okay, it has to be true because they got this there. I made a really good point to him. People that swim and are good swimmers and move their bodies like they're fish, does that mean that they have DNA from fishes and sharks because they have fins they swim around in the ocean with? And his response was, oh, that's that. You're just being stupid now. You're just being silly. And humans are made to swim. No, they're not. I can't swim with the amount of practice I have. I don't like swimming. I can't swim for anything. But there are some people out there that can swim. I thought my point was really well made. It's also the same as those people that have big googly eyes that stick out. I'm not being silly. This is a fair point. Does that mean they're related to bugs because bugs have big eyes? Does that mean that that it must be possible that human DNAs have been tampered with by species? Yeah, must be somewhere. But I did believe that we did come from some sort of out of this world type thing. I made a good point to it. I said we could be having DNA from aliens. It was like, aliens? You really believe that? Yeah, because there's creatures from a different planet. They're more advanced and higher and a higher power than us. Why would that not be more reasonable than what you just said? And I know he was always bantering, but I think he did mean some of the bits he said. Oh, he's being silly now. Oh God, I can't talk to you. Now I thought it was banter, fair enough, but I wasn't laughing at that how he was saying it. But I do genuinely believe there was some parts of it was serious, but I took it banter anyway because he did lose off in emojis. I don't like going to that what he says is like all serious because we do banter and joke around. Maybe this tone, I think part of him, a tiny bit of him was being serious there. How was it I said, I don't know. I mean, let me try and explain this properly. How did what I say not sound serious? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Like, how was it that how did he think I wasn't serious, but the point he made was serious? How did he think he said what he said and it was? I don't understand. I really don't. See, he got me back up this way, man. I mean, what I said was more better than what he said because I compared it to something a bit more similar to that. And there's people that actually really evolved from apes. And he spoke about cavemen. And yeah, obviously cavemen did not know any English because that's when before the world even had bloody buildings. There was people living in caves and stuff like that. Obviously they're going to be making of course they'll be doing noises like that. That's exactly how they sound, of course. Doesn't necessarily mean they evolved from apes or something. It'd be more possible if somebody was living that, say for example somebody lived in the jungle, right, or jungle for like a few months or something. They're going to be adapted to the animals around them and make animal noises. Does that mean the DNA is from them? Probably not, or probably maybe. I mean, DNA gets mixed or something like that, right? I mean, but they learned from it. This is the thing, like cavemen probably learned from different animals and had to actually sound like them so they can scare them away or whatever it is. So I thought I made a really good point. And even his response to that point, there's people that actually, if you had to get triggered by logic and common sense and facts, then you're the one in the wrong, not the other way around. And I actually said in a serious point that he just don't know why he reacted the way he did. I know he was joking somewhere, and he's going to tell me, he was actually joking. But there was obviously some sense of seriousness there. You got to take it from, I know you got to think from both sides on this one. I thought I made a really good point, and I hope there's other people that would obviously see it from my side of things too. I should have prepared this video a bit more better, but I just had to talk about it anyway. But please let me know what you think, because I thought that point I made was actually really clever. You have to compare it to that. Yeah, there might be some sort of DNA that got tampered with, yeah. But at the same time, I don't think we actually, I feel like I don't think our DNA probably didn't. I don't think we got tampered with animals. I just think we got parts of our body seem to be similar to animals. Yeah, I can understand where people get that notion from. But at the same time, if we had DNA of animals, we'll be behaving like those animals. Think about it. Some of those swimmers, they probably have I don't know. It's hard to explain. but they do have like animal characteristics, like, you know, fish characteristics about them. No, you know, and those people that seem to act like they're monkeys or apes out there, that do it like probably nearly every day, you could say that they have DNA of apes. Fair enough. I mean, you could probably say they're similar to them because they could behave like that, although they just do it as a joke. Or people that think that they're dogs or something like that probably have. It's obviously a mental thing too. Don't forget that mental, you know, mentality-wise, there's people that think like that when they're not. But I'm just trying to prove my point. I'm trying to think of different type of situations, and he just went there and said that's silly. But you just read out something that sounds exactly similar to what I just said. So why don't you take that with a pinch of salt instead of just like making it sound that I said something ridiculous? And also another friend told me that we have something in our brains that is like apes basically, where if that gets triggered, we can commit like murder or something like that. It sounded ridiculous too. You know, and I see what people get notion that we probably have DNA from some animals. I get that. Some animals, but don't just say it's just from apes. What? Because they have arms and legs. They do. People do realize that. I think those people forget that that apes do stuff that we don't. I mean, literally, like, if we were like apes and we did have DNA from them, we would all be in the wild. Like, this is the point I'm making. You know, like, especially when I made the point about the swimmers. Yeah, I don't believe that we have DNA from them, but I was trying to make a point that those people are similar to fishes, for example. I wouldn't say DNA, that's a bit over the top, because that would mean that they will behave like animals entirely, but they're similar to fishes. You know, with the way that they move their bodies, like the fins, like something similar to that. I mean, must do my best trying to explain things in my videos, but you know what I'm trying to say. Now, yeah, you could say there's DNA, fair enough, but don't just compare it to one animal. You got to actually look around. You know, there's people that you could say that you compare people to other animals, or like you could compare to the bugs or whatever it is. It's not being offensive. I was trying to prove my point, and I did it really well. And I'm thinking about it now. It was a good point to make. There's nothing illogical about that. You just got to think about these things with common sense. And yeah, I do think we evolved from aliens, because how else did humans get on this planet to begin with? And how did animals get on here to begin with? This is the point I'm trying to make. Unless aliens did mix our DNA up with animals, then yeah, I mean, fair enough. But we don't have like bug-like tendencies or animal-like characteristics about us and features. But we don't. We're nowhere near similar. We're nowhere near like evolved from animals. You know, I don't even think we're similar to apes. I don't think we're similar to any animal. But you could make the same point as that swimmers that you compared to fishes and sharks, like I said earlier. So you see what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't believe we're similar to animals as such. I don't believe we evolved from any animals. I don't believe we learned from them. There's people that probably did. I think people got it from Planet of the Apes, where, yeah, I said movies have similar messaging and there's some truth to it. I don't honestly think that there's people that watch Planet of the Apes and say, see, Frankie, see, these apes are talking. It's a movie though. Like, you tell me things are a movie, but there's still the stuff I see in movies, there's a different kind of truth to it. Not like talking animal type stuff. I don't mean that. So yeah, you know, you obviously could say that yeah, I do think there's the people that swim is similar to fishes and sharks because they swim like that. But I don't obviously believe that the DNA is mixing with that. I mean, could have been. There might have been some scientists that have mixed animal DNA, but fair enough, yeah. But if people really don't genuinely believe that we had animal DNA mixed in with us, I don't think we'll be looking very human. It's concern that point right there. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. The more I keep talking, the more repetitive I'll get. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification below. So I'll see you in my next video.